guys, for today's lesson, we'll have operations on binary. So we have 4 operations, but let's proceed first with addition. And we have certain rules to follow in adding binary numbers. So we have 0 plus 0 is equal to 0, 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, 0, in which when we write it, when we solve, it will be 0 carry 1. And you might ask, bakit 1, 0? So, if you're going to convert 1, 0 into decimal, it will be equal to 2, and 1 plus 1 in decimal is equal to 2. So, 2 in binary is 1, 0. So, that's why when we add 1 plus 1 in binary, it is equal to 1, 0. So, madali nyo matatandaan yung first 3 rules because we're just like adding 1 and 0 in decimal. So, kailangan nyo nilang tandaan is yung 1 plus 1 which is equal to 1, 0. Okay, applying these rules dito sa example. So, we'll start from the rightmost. So, we have 0 plus 0, it is equal to 0. 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. Then we have 1 plus 1. So, we'll have 0 carry 1. So, ganon yung pagsulat natin kapag may 1 plus 1 tayo. And then, let's proceed. So, we have 1 plus 0. It is equal to 1, and then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0 carry 1 again. Then we'll add 1 and 0 again. It is equal to 1, and then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0 carry 1. And then we have here 1 plus 1. So answer is 0 carry 1. So wala tayong palalagyan ng carry, so we can write 1 there. And then don't forget to write subscript 2. So, this is the answer for the given binary numbers. Okay, for this second example, let's add these binary numbers. So, we have 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. Then, we have 1 plus 0, which is equal to 1. And then, plus 1, it will be 0, carry 1. 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. And then plus 0, it is equal to 1. Then, we have 1 plus 1, it is equal to 0, carry 1. And then we have 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, write 0 there, and then carry 1. And then we have 0 plus 0, it is equal to 0. Then, 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. Then we have 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Then, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. Then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. So just let it hang there. And then we have 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. And then don't forget to bring down yung kineri natin kanina, which is 1. And then don't forget to write subscript 2. Okay, for the third examples, you may notice we have 3 layers of binary numbers. So you can add the first 2 first, and then when you get its sum, you can add the third. But since it's quite time-consuming, so pwede naman natin siya dire-diretsahin, kagaya ng gagawin natin ngayon. Okay, so we have 0 plus 0, it is equal to 0. Then plus 1, it will be equal to 1. Then we have 1 plus 0, it is equal to 1. Then plus 1, it will be equal to 0, carry 1. And then we have 1 plus 1, it will be equal to 0, carry 1. Then we have 0 plus 1, it will be equal to 1. And then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. So as you may notice, meron tayong double carry. So okay lang yan. Basta wag kayo magja-jump ng pag-carry. So, kung ano yung kasunod, dun lang magke-carry. Then, we have here 1 plus 1, it will be equal to 0, carry 1. And then, 0 plus 0, it will be equal to 0. Then, 0 plus 1, it will be equal to 1. And then, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. Then, 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, and then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. Then, add natin ulit yung carry. So, we have there 1 plus 1, which is equal to 0, carry 1. Then 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1. Add the carry ulit. 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1. Then 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, carry 1. Add the carry ulit. 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1. Let it hang. Then we have 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1. Then we have 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. And lastly, so meron tayong dalawang carry. So pag-addin lang natin sila. So we have 1 plus 1, which is equal to 0, carry 1. So bring down na agad natin yung 1. And then don't forget to write the subscript 2. Okay, so that's it. Okay, for the subtraction of binary numbers, so we have certain rules to follow again. We have 0 minus 0, it is equal to 0. 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1. 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. And 0 minus 1 cannot be. So, we're going to borrow so that the answer will be 1. So, explain natin tong 0 minus 1 through this example. So, para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay, applying the rules, we have 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. Then we have 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1. Then we have 0 minus 1. So, cannot be. So, what are we going to do is yung 0, manghihiram siya sa pinakamalapit na 1 ng 1. And then, yung 1 na yon magiging equal siya sa 0. And then, itong 0 natin dito, it will be equal to 1, 0. And then, proceed. We have 1, 0, minus 1. And then, sabi sa rule natin, equal siya sa 1. Then, we have 0 minus 0. It is equal to 0. We have 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. And then, 0 minus 1, borrow again. 1 will be 0. And 0 will be equal to 1, 0. And 1, 0 minus 1 is equal to 1. And then, kahit hindi nyo na i-bring down yung 0 doon. And then, don't forget to write subscript 2. And that is the answer. For the second example, so, let's start. 0 minus 1. So, borrow sa pinakamalapit na 1. So, we'll have, this 1 will be 0. And then, magiging 1, 0 yung 0 natin. And 1, 0 minus 1 is equal to 1. Then we have 0 minus 1 again. Then borrow ulit sa pinakamalapit na 1. So this will be 0. Then yung 0 natin magiging 1, 0. So we'll have 1, 0 minus 1. It will be equal to 1. Then we have 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 1. So, ang katabi niya is 0. So, kagaya na sinasabi ko kanina po, ulit-ulit, manghihiram sa pinakamalapit na 1. So, yung 1 magiging 0. And then, yung hinanghiram ulit, magiging 1, 0. So, anong mangyayari dun sa nadaanan na zeros? Automatically, it will be equal to 1. Okay, so let's write there. Then, let's perform. 1, 0 minus 1 is equal to 1. 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. We have 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. We have 0 minus 1 again. Borrow sa pinakamalapit na 1. So, we'll have 0. Then, yung 0 natin magiging 1, 0. So, we'll have 1, 0 minus 1, which is equal to 1. And then, don't forget to write subscript 2. Third operation is multiplication. And we have certain rules to follow again. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 1 is 1. So, as you can see, the rules are, we're just like multiplying 1 and 0 in decimal. So, let us apply this in this example. So, let's start from the second digit of the factor. So, we have here 0. Then, multiply natin siya 1 by 1 dun sa factors dun sa taas. So, since i-multiply natin siya sa 0, automatically, all of those will be equal to 0. So, we'll have how many bits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, we're also going to write 7 zeros. And then, let's multiply the second digit naman nung sa binary. So, we'll have 1 multiplied to 1. So, since minumultiply natin sa 1, so automatically, it will be equal to this factor. So, we'll have 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. And then, after getting the product, so we will proceed with addition. And you must remember or recall the rules that we had in addition of binary numbers. So, dito i-apply din natin yung rules na yun. Okay, applying those rules, we have 0, then 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, and then let's bring down this 1. And then don't forget to write subscript 2. Okay, for the second example, let us multiply these binary numbers. So let's start from 1. So since multiply na siya sa 1, so let's just copy the first factor. So we'll have 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Then, the next digit is 0. So, meaning to say, all of the digit or the product is 0. So, bilangin lang natin kung ilang bits. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits. So, lagay natin 7 na zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then, lastly, we have 1. So, copy lang ulit natin yung factors, but mag-move tayo ng isang place. So, we'll have 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. And then proceed sa addition of binary numbers. So we have here 0, then 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, then 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 0, which is equal to 1, then 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, then 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0, 1, plus 0, 1, 1 plus 0, 1, plus 0, 1, then we have 0 plus 1, 1, and then bring down 1. And then don't forget to write subscript 2. Okay, last operation on binary, the division of binary numbers. So, tatandaan nyo, in the division of binary numbers, kapag kayang i-divide, the answer is always 1. And then, kapag hindi kayang i-divide, the answer is 0. So, in here, so paano tayo mag-divide? So, let's first count how many bits do we have in the divisor. So, we have 3 bits. So, magka-count din tayo ng 3 bits dito sa dividend. So, 3 bits. And then, dyan muna tayo magfo-focus. Yun muna yung ipag-divide natin. And then, ganito, we are going to read these binary numbers as decimal. So, sa divisor natin, meron tayong 100. And then, dito sa dividend, meron tayong 101. So, focus muna tayo dun sa tinik natin na 3 bits. And then, kapag mas malaki yung value nung nasa dividend natin kaysa sa divisor, kaya siyang i-divide. So, answer natin is 1. And then, kapag naman mas maliit yung value ng nasa dividend, so answer natin is 0. But since sa case natin na to, mas malaki yung value ng nasa dividend natin, so answer is 1. And then, multiply natin dun sa divisor natin. So, we'll have 1, 0, 0. Then, applying the rules in subtracting binary numbers, so we'll have here 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1, then 0 minus 0, which is equal to 0, and 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. After subtracting, bring down the next value. So, we have here 1, 0. So, we have 1, 0, and then i-divide natin siya sa 100. So, alin ba yung mas malaki? Yung 10 ba or yung 100? So, since mas malaki yung 100, so hindi natin siya kaya i-divide. So, answer natin is 0. and then 0 multiplied to 1, 0, 0, it will be equal to 3 zeros. And then, applying the rules in subtraction, we have 0 minus 0 is 0, and then 1 minus 0 is 1. So, kahit hindi natin ilagay yung mga zeros dito. Then, after subtracting, bring down again. So, we have 0. So, ngayon, meron na tayong 100 and 100. So, since equal sila, answer natin will be 1. And then 1 multiplied to 1, 0, 0 is equal to 1, 0, 0. Then, subtract natin. So, it will be equal to 0, 0, and 0. So, this is the final answer. So, lagyan na lang natin ng subscript 2. And tip, for you to know na kayo ay nag-arrive na sa final answer, the last digit in the dividend should be aligned sa last digit ng answer nyo. So, that's it. Second example. So, let's count how many bits do we have in the divisor. So, we have 4 bits. So, we're going to take 4 bits as well sa dividend. And then, basahin natin as decimal. So, we have here 1,000 and dito 1,001. So, since mas maliit yung value ng nasa dividend, so answer natin is 0. And then, align lang natin ulit dun sa last bit ng tinake natin. And then 0 multiplied to 1, 0, 0, 1. So, we'll have 4 zeros. And then, applying the rules in subtraction. So, we'll have 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. So, 0 minus 0, 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. And then, bring down the next digit, which is 1. Then, basahin ulit natin as decimal. So, we have 1,001 and 10,001, and 1,001. So, mas malaki ulit yung value ng nasa dividend. So, answer natin is 1. And then, multiplied to 1,001, we'll have 1,001. Then, applying the rules in subtraction, we'll have 1 minus 1, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 1 cannot be. So, borrow sa pinakamalapit na 1. So, it will be 1, 0 minus 1, which is equal to 1. And then, bring down the next digit again. So, we have 10,001 again, tsaka 1,001. So, since mas malaki ulit yung nasa dividend, answer is 1. Multiply to the divisor, we'll have 1,001. Applying the rules in subtraction, 1 minus 1, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 1 cannot be. Borrow sa 1. So, we'll have 1, 0 minus 1, which is equal to 1. Then, bring down the last digit, which is 0. So, we have here 10,000 and 1,001. So, mas malaki ulit yung nasa dividend. Answer is 1. Then, multiplied to 1,001, we'll have 1,001. Then, applying the rules in subtraction, 0 minus 1 cannot be. So, hiram sa pinakamalapit na 1. So, yung 1, it will be 0. Then, yung 0 natin here, magiging 1, 0. And ano ulit yung mangyayari sa zeros in the middle? Okay, it will be equal to 1. So, automatic yon kapag nadaanan sila ng nanghiram. Next, proceed. We have 1, 0 minus 1. It will be equal to 1. Then we have 1 minus 0, 1. 1 minus 0, 1. Then we have 1 minus 1, 0. And then may 0 pa dun. So, kahit hindi na natin yan ilagay. And notice that the last digit ng ating quotient is already aligned sa last digit ng dividend. So, meaning to say, this is the quotient. And then, itong nakuha nating answer dito will be the remainder. So, we have, okay, so final answer will be 111 subscript 2. Then, remainder or R, 111. And then, don't forget to write subscript 2. So, if you can notice, yung 0 na nauna dun sa quotient natin, hindi na natin sinulat kasi wala naman na siyang value. So, that's why we came up to this answer. Okay, so that's it for operations on binary, and I hope that you remembered all the rules, and we hope that you learned, and thank you for listening.